Good day, tubers. How's it hanging? Pretty good here. Okay, I'm not Bill Steamax. I didn't mean to do that. I don't really have much going on today. Probably just some blabbing, and I actually have a oil change I need to do on the truck. It's like I don't really know where else to go with this video other than we're gonna do an oil change, which I've done millions of times on the 4BT. It's probably like 45-50 degrees out, and I'm in freaking shorts and just practically slippers, really. So what I wanted to look at was what my last oil change was. Let's see, there's Adam's truck. And a piece of paper. Let's see what we got. Okay, my last oil change I did August the 28th. Did that at 19,000 or 15,658. I was gonna do a 10,000 mile interval, but it's getting pretty cold, and I have a quart of 80/90 gear lube in there, and I'm gonna get that out so that I'm not having issues. But even at 30 degrees, I haven't had any oil pressure issues. It's relatively high. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see that. I got 20,000 on here right now, so I've got about 5,000 miles. I'm gonna go ahead and drain it. So lately at Baxter's and Advanced Auto Parts, you can get this for about 12 bucks, and I got 3 jugs, and then I got me this is actual Cummins approved oil filter. This is something you can get at like the dealer. I got this at Advanced Auto Parts, Walmart, and a bunch of other places I think sell it. Oh yeah, that's a little better, So I'm kind of gonna copy Bill's T-Max and we're just making a video, just, you know, it's a Tuesday afternoon. Actually, it's not even afternoon yet. Whoa, she warm. A little warm. Coolant temps at 70 degrees, apparently. By the way, I haven't heard a peep out of that. Yes, I am saddened by this, but I was expecting it. We've got, yeah. Oh, that's hot. We got a. Can I see? Where's that coming from? I want to see if I can find out where that's coming from, but it's all sooty, so I'm assuming there's a little coolant leak, and the head gasket on this is just. It's original, and the injector's original, so I think it's time to do the head on this. So that is an upcoming that's an upcoming project. I'm gonna start piecing it together. What I'm gonna get is the head. I'm gonna actually order the head tomorrow. I'm gonna order a new set of injectors for the head. They're like a stage 2 injector. So I'm gonna get a set of those, and then I'm gonna get a new intake plate with a 3-inch opening, and then for now we're gonna upgrade this 2-inch tube to a 3-inch, and then probably in the spring or even the summer, then we're gonna add water to air intercooling. So that's my next thing to do to this, and then eventually I'll get my new wheels and I'll get my new size tires. So we've got about 5,000 miles on this oil change. It really doesn't look that bad. It's not super black or anything. And I think in that 5,000 miles we used about a quart. But I mean, you can just barely see the add line in there, so it's not super bad. Well, I guess we can just do some inspections here. I haven't changed this power steering fluid in a couple of years either. And it's still clear, so and I don't have a filter on it. I'm not going to change that because probably, I don't know when. It's going to be another, everything I've been buying lately has been about $500, so I want to upgrade my steering gear to a redhead. I was going to do that recently, but I went and bought a new laptop so I could be able to edit videos on the go. So, yeah. My fuel hose separators. I think at some point I would like to upgrade this bad boy to half-inch fuel line. We may have to do that next summer because I'm going to have bigger injectors. We're going to be putting more air in this thing. We're going to need more fuel. I love having these James Duff long arms. I can set my GoPro on here. This is a 19mm that I got on here. It's nice having this truck up a little bit higher. I haven't let this thing sit for just a little bit. Let the oil settle back down. Yeah, it's not, it's definitely black, but it's not, it doesn't feel too terribly thick like it was when I first got this engine. When I first got this engine, I think they put some miles on that oil. I was going to take this in and have the oil changed, but the thing is I like seeing what's in my oil. I want to see if there's any metal debris, and sometimes that has happened before. I had my injection pump wasn't tightened down all the way, and it was, the freaking thing was, the gear was grinding up against the timing cover case thingamajig. So because I saw that, found the issue, fixed it, and away we went. So I'll let that dribble away. I'm gonna go get another towel. Just a little tip for you guys: if you have to work on something and it's just kind of nasty out, like wet, go to Harbor Freight and pick these up. These things are freaking awesome. I think for $10 you can get a pack of 4, so you get 4 squares. Yeah, go to Harbor Freight and freaking pick these up. These have been nice because I can lay them out, lay on something while I work on it. And then if it gets rained on, well, you just put them in the garage and they dry up. So next we got to do is the oil filter. Got to get that off. I've got some shenanigans in the way. I'm not sure how well you're gonna be able to see this, but oil filters, if you get around to working on something, you will find out that an oil filter is always going to be an asshole, a complete dickwad. So you get yourself one of these. And just look out for any electrical wiring that you may have that's not wrapped up. And away we go. I didn't even have to clamp this on all the way. I just had it kind of open like that, and I would just put some pressure on it. It would just bite a little bit, and then I don't know what I paid for that, but it wasn't much. So I'm gonna open this up just to let it drain out. Let's see, what filter am I running on this right now? I think I'm running a Rotella. My intake tube is kind of pressing up against this oil filter, so it'll be a little tricky going back in. I love that setup. Oh, no, that was before. I'm using a Wix. I know, shame on me. And on anything you change the oil on, check that surface area. If it's not shiny and it's black, well, you've got the freaking O-ring still on the damn thing. So now, I do pre-fill. I pre-fill these. I don't fill them up all the way to the top because what happens is when you go like this, it just dumps out and makes a mess. Typically when these are mounted like this, when the engine shuts off, this drains out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil in to saturate it and then throw it in. I'm probably going to take this mouth off. And I'm just gonna roll it around and be weird and I'm just gonna put it in now. I like to put these on hand tight. In other words, enough to where it snugs up. I don't put these on with a wrench. If you do, please stop. Unless you're in an oil change place and you know, you can't have failure, so you don't take the risk and you put it on with a 14-foot breaker bar. I got a little neodymium magnet, neodymium, whatever you want to call it. There, that'll collect metal and whatnot. I'm gonna just have my hand on the camera. Damn it to hell. Wanna take a bath? Somebody's always excited for a walk. That should be good. So I'm gonna pour 2 jugs in first, and then well, I guess we'll pour her in like that. Oh, that's right. I was going to start it up first. Let's do that. Maybe it's just like a placebo thing, you know, where you're like, oh yeah, it loves it, but really it's the same as it was before. It's still knocking, but man, it sounds great. I mean, it doesn't, it's bad. Okay, so, oh yeah, we should check the oil level. Damn it, I took my rag out. Cold. I'm gonna stop by Walmart probably, I don't know, one of these weeks and get a set of thermal shoes and some thermal jumpsuits. So, we're not quite at the full mark. Okay, so we're about a half a gallon away. Right now it burns a little bit of oil on startup, but it doesn't smoke when it's running. So it's just a little smoky on startup. But I think it's because this cylinder head is getting worn out. The seals are going out. And I've been noticing a little bit of that splatter even before I did the whole gear oil thing, so I don't think that has anything to do with it. And my timing cover is not wet anymore. So, I don't know. But she's been doing pretty good. I've been running gear lube in this for a few months now, but it's that old little trick from a trucker I saw. Raw's Collection on YouTube. He does a bunch of big rig stuff. I think he was doing a Cummins ISX. He got about 1 million miles on it. Did a rebuild. Thing looks brand new, and he's been running a gallon of gear oil. I think he runs that's a big engine, so he's running a gallon of gear lube to how much more oil he's got in there. He said it's about a 12% mix, and I kind of did a little rough calculation, and I figured that a 12% mix for this would be a 1 quart of gear lube. So I'd buy 2 jugs of these, a bottle, and then a thing of gear lube, and I'd have my full amount, but I'd have a little extra. I just dumped the whole thing in there. Get to talking. You get to talking. Let's see where our oil level's at right now. And we're slightly above the hatch marks. So okay, that was okay. Yep. Now, if I remember correctly, when Todd does his oil changes on his 4BT, he puts 3 jugs in there. Like, he puts 3 jugs in. So I'm like, okay. And he doesn't have any problems. We can fire it up again and see if it smokes. Rich. Hey, you want to see something to make you cringe? Don't do that at home. So, manual shut off. Eventually I'm going to convert it to a manual shut-off. So now what I want to do is go into the garage, dump that into those jugs, and we'll see how much we actually took out. So three jugs, so that's 4 and 4. These are 4 quarts a pop, so you got 8 quarts plus the 2, that makes 10. We're putting 2 extra quarts in there, which makes 12 quarts. The problem with doing that is if you put too much oil in an engine, the crankshaft starts whipping it up, and when it whips it up, it turns the oil to foam, and then your oil pickup tube will start getting that foam, and you start losing oil pressure and whatnot. So yeah. Oh, that scared me. That was just part of a drain plug. See this in there? I haven't completely cleaned this out, so there was a little chunk. I hate it when oil change places put this shit on their drain plugs so they can know if it moves or not. Yeah. Couple of foreign pieces, but I think that was from, it was just leftover. It's, yeah, there's a little bit of foreign stuff from this, from just debris getting in here while changing the oil. There's a couple diddly-doos, but I'm not sure if that's actually for my engine. I should have just bought a new pan for this, but oh well. Or clean it thoroughly. But for the most part, there's not a huge amount of shenanigans. When I had that issue with the timing cover, or the injection pump not being bolted in all the way, it was cantilevered a little bit, and it was scaring me. So now I'm not seeing that so much anymore. So I'm happy. We don't have any issues. What I'm mostly worried about is seeing bearing material. If you start seeing like a brassy color to your oil or a sheen at the bottom, I would start saving up for a motor rebuild. So I actually overfilled this, as you can see. It's all the way up here. Normally they're filled to, what about here? So we would be up to here in this thing. So we got about 7.5 quarts of oil in there. And we put a 5 extra back in it. So yeah, so I got an extra jug there for stuff. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get that oil analyzer thingamajig and send them off a sample. And what I'm betting is that when they run that, they're gonna find a little bit of water in there, and that's gonna be the coolant. That's what I'm thinking, because I know I need to do a head gasket. I mean, the thing's got the original head on it, and it's got the original injectors. I want to put new injectors in, and my injection pump is still fairly fresh, so yeah. So that's pretty typical oil change for my engine, and ever since I got it. So I think even Adam's 4BT is the same way, and I mean, you know, it's a diesel engine. It burns a little bit of oil. That's what they do, and they do it happily. Unless you're a 6.9, then it just smokes like a bastard. So this is the 4BT head gasket here. I've got my leak. It's right about here. That's what it looks like. I bet you that guy right there. I don't know if that's an oil return or well, I don't think it's coolant. I haven't been losing coolant. Is that an oil return? Looks like these are the coolant jackets right here. Coolant jacket. And then we have, let's see, we have push rods. So we got head bolts here, I'm assuming. Yep. And then you have head bolts right in here that lock it down. And then I think these are for the push rods. That's what it looks like to me. And then your coolant jackets are here. So is that an oil return? Huh. Where does the oil return? The oil has to return to the head. I wonder if that's the oil return holes. So if it's leaking right here, then that's just sitting oil that's coming out of there. If that were coolant, which is over here, I would be seeing really bad coolant temps. So I think this seal right here has gone out somehow, and I'm getting compression loss in that cylinder, and it's pushing oil out that way. it's head time.